The harshest environment in the world, the frozen continent. A land where strutting penguins and barking seals brave the coldest of winters and screaming katabatic winds. These were the images of Antarctica engraved on my mind, drawn from the nature programs that tell stories of early explorers like Ernest Shackleton, who conquered the white continent. To step on the continent of Antarctica was a dream come true.
Hello, Antarctica! Snowflakes and all.
To walk in the footsteps of legendary scientists, brave the elements like an intrepid explorer, and to catch a glimpse of unique wildlife frolicking between majestic icebergs, that's the stuff of dreams.
Hey Judy, you ready?
Yeah, man, Pedro, where we going?
A cold, cold place.
Oh, me ready. You ready?
Grab your jacket and let's go. Jamaica go everywhere, that you should know. From the heat of the equator to the lands down below. Hop aboard a plane, and here we go to the white continent, the land of ice and snow.
Where the penguins play and the seal them stray, the icebergs tall and the snow will fall. Where the whale them meet for the grill them eat, the ice floats by and the mountain high. Down in the
When I told my friends and family that I was going to be going to Antarctica, they all asked me almost unanimously why I was traveling so far just to go look at some ice. In fact, several of them invited me to their homes to take a look in their freezers so I could get a first-hand and up-close and personal look at some ice. But I knew it would be so much more than just ice. I'd been the writer and marketing director for the cruise line I was traveling on for several years. And so from research and all the articles I had written, I knew that it was going to be spectacular. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And so I got myself a Nikon camera, bought myself an iPod so that I could have my reggae music with me everywhere I went, got to represent, got myself some nice warm boots and some knee-high water boots so that I could cover those boots when we had to make water landings. And I also got a nice thick fleece jacket, even though I knew I was going to be getting the red expedition parka for the cruise. I was truly, truly ready for the cold. To get there, I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Buenos Aires, business class, courtesy of a free upgrade. And there I spent 5 amazing days speaking Spanglish, soaking up the art and culture, avoiding the street dogs, choking on uncontrolled exhaust fumes, enjoying the parks and eating gelato. I have to tell you though, that the thousands of birds swirling overhead really give a new meaning to the term crapshoot. From there, it was on to Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world and Argentina. From there, I toured the beautiful Tierra del Fuego National Park, which sits beneath the Patagonian mountains, before I boarded my ship to Antarctica. With great trepidation, I faced the Drake Passage. I'd heard so many horror stories over so many years about the Drake Passage, about 10-foot waves and 15-foot waves and passengers literally turning green just from the bouncing and the up and down. So here's a little known fact about me. I do have motion sickness, but only on land. I'm fine in the air and I'm fine at sea. I have pretty good sea legs. But just to be sure, I got myself some ginger candies, some ginger pills, some meclizine, some Dramamine, everything I could find. I even got patches just to make sure that crossing the Drake Passage would have been bearable. But I was lucky. The Drake was in a good mood that day. Crossing was smooth, it was easy, and I slept like a baby. Waking up to the stark, sheer beauty of the ice capes all around me, an albatross gliding on the wind, and scores of people peering over the railings to see whales breaching in the distance, man, that was the perfect way to start my trip. Aboard MV Discovery, I was the youngest passenger, and I was also the only passenger of color, which made me kind of stand out and a bit of an enigma, and everyone soon knew that I worked for the cruise line. Many cruise lines claim to go to Antarctica. However, only smaller size expedition boats and cruise ships with strengthened or ice-breaking hulls can truly enter and navigate the vast ice fields that cover the southernmost Antarctic waters. Icebergs, bergy bits, ice floes, and other icescapes make it dangerous to cruise the waters. This is why an ice master was mandatory on the ship that I was on. He is the captain in charge once we enter the ice fields. He's the expert in spotting the icebergs, calculating their size and distance, and ensuring safe passage. More importantly though, small-sized ships with limited passenger loads means that the human footprint and the impact on the continent is so much less than any other regular tourist destination. In 2007, approximately 20,000 people traveled to the continent. In 2019, an estimated 44,000 people visited. When you consider that even relatively small islands like Jamaica received more than 3 million visitors in the same year, you can see why I felt privileged to be among the few to walk in the shoes of great explorers. Our first landing was on Paradise Island at Waterboat Point to be exact, home to a large rookery of Gentoo penguins and a fully operational Chilean Air Force base, which is manned 3 months out of the year. Very strict guidelines are given to those who visit on how to dress and prepare for landings. But the most important lesson we're taught before setting foot on the Zodiac boat that takes us to the land is how to respect the environment and the wildlife we encounter. Zodiac boats take turns ferrying passengers so that very few people are on the land at any one time, lessening the impact even further. We learn that we are in their territory, the animals' territory, and that the penguins have right of way. And penguin police stand at the ready to remove anyone who dares to interfere with the wildlife. A rare thing. There are 3 not completely albino penguins, Gentoo penguins that they found here. And he's right down here. You notice his black feathers didn't come in. He's right there, but he's got the right colored beak and the right color eyes. So Peter Carey tells me he's not a true albino. We are taught to take nothing but memories and leave nothing but footprints. We also learn that penguin poop is pink from the krill they eat, and it stinks to the high heavens. You smell it long before you see it. So our shoes are scrubbed clean before leaving the island to prevent any foreign matter from getting on board. The wildlife is everywhere. Minke and humpback whales, they patrol the ocean. Skua gulls and albatross soar overhead. The penguins strut their stuff, and even the cormorants are running up and down steps. He seems to be doing his morning exercise. But I have to tell you how much I loved the seals. At Hope Bay, I got my fill of watching seals in all their glory. I even caught a sea lion stalking its prey. Oh no!
Yeah, that's not is that a leopard?
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Go, 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 Mr. Penguin, run! Ooh, he got off. Antarctica is pristine and beautiful beyond belief. The stark black mountains contrast with ever-present white snow, and the air is so clear you can see miles away. The sunsets, oh, the sunsets are spectacular. The scientists who occupy the Chilean station during the austral summer and the cruise lines that visit the area are very protective of the continent. As the global warming debate rages on, the spotlight continues to shine on the dire consequences of human action on our planet. An area often left out of debate is the South Pole. Perhaps because it is among the least visited destinations in the world. It may be also because it's uninhabited by humans for most of the year, or its sheer vastness and seemingly never-ending ice sheet evokes invulnerability. Yet, Antarctica holds many keys to the mysteries of Earth, locking away secrets beneath layers of ice as thick as a mile. Over 80% of the world's ice is found in Antarctica. Let that sink in. If all that ice were to melt, there would be 6 times more water on the planet than currently exists. Let that sink in.
Every second, 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of ice is disappearing from Antarctica.
Glacier ice is delicious, by the way. I had a little piece. But Antarctica is the last great frontier. It is the last unspoiled place on Earth. At least it should be, but for the effects of climate change.
The cause is warming ocean waters, and the ice melt has implications for sea level rise well beyond the South Pole region.
According to one recent study, the continent's ice is slipping away 6 times faster than it was 40 years ago.
On board with me were Dr. Peter Carey and Dr. Craig Franklin, both world-renowned zoologists and experts on the continent's wildlife, having made over 400 trips as guides. Even back then, they remarked on the effects of the warming oceans resulting in retreating glaciers and slow melting. Far from affecting only the landscape, however, the wildlife is also at risk.
This warming environment threatens 2 species of penguins.
International scientists who use the Chilean research station on Paradise Island as their base can attest to the effects of the size of the penguin colonies. Some of them are getting smaller and some of them are moving. Walking around the base, carefully avoiding the residents, I learned about the work being done to track the tuxedoed birds, the information about the planet buried deep within the layers of snow and ice, and the history of expeditions, successful and failed. In February 2007, I visited the White Continent and returned with an appreciation for its role in keeping our world intact. The direct impacts of melting glaciers on rising seas and flooded cities can no longer be disputed.
A state of emergency in the beautiful Italian city of Venice. Exceptional flooding from high tides, the worst in 50 years.
As I write, eastern Canada and the northeast coast of the USA are undergoing record cold, with each year seemingly worse than the year before. In summer of 2019, Hurricane Dorian pummeled Abaco and Grand Bahama Islands in the Bahamas for 2 full days with ferocious winds in excess of 150 miles per hour, leaving behind hundreds of missing people and a recovery process that will take decades to complete. Our climate is in trouble. Our very existence on this planet is in trouble. Now, I'm no climate change expert. I'm just a concerned citizen of the world trying to do my part to make a difference. Aaah-Inspiring Antarctica, the experience, takes a look at the continent through the eyes of my own camera lens, in my own words through 2 printed books, a pictorial travelogue and a children's book, a short film and a talk. I hope to inspire the next generation and you to be bold. Step out of your comfort zone and explore this magnificent world. Go out and learn about and from cultures that are different from your own. There is vast knowledge and truth to be gained from travel. Lasting knowledge and untouched truths that help us to be more tolerable, more understanding, more empathetic, more aware of our planet, and ultimately more human. I want to provoke thought and stir consciences. How will we change what we're doing to this only earth we have? It is ours today, it is our grandchildren's tomorrow. While we're busy out there searching for new worlds to conquer, let us not forget that this is still the only one we have.
Where the penguins play and the seal them stray, the icebergs tall and the snow will fall. Where the whale them meet for the krill them eat, the ice floes fly and the mountain high. Down in Antarctica, down in Antarctica.
What a beautiful place,
Down
Judy.
in Antarctica.
I tell you, it's nice.
I could never imagine a world like this.